As a finance professional in a disrupted business landscape, what does it take to be in demand? What does it take to attract great paying international roles? If you're an ICAN member, it'll just take one exam. That's all it takes to complete the globally recognized CIMA professional qualification and the internationally respected CGMA designation. As a CIMA member and a CGMA designation holder, employers will look at you as a finance professional, constantly acquiring new skills to add value to the business. That's why they'll be willing to pay premium to hire and retain you. If you have 5 years of relevant experience and are an ICAN member, you can directly sit for the final exam of the CIMA Professional Qualification, the Strategic Case Study exam. Start studying the CIMA Professional Qualification. Prepare to make an impact.
Dear professional colleagues, these are undoubtedly unprecedented times. Social and economic indices are undoubtedly performing below all expectations. No nation is spared, not even the advanced nations. Global community is battling environmental, economic, technological, political, and social challenges all at the same time. Most developing economies are experiencing rising unemployment, spreading inflation, escalating and humiliating poverty, security breaches, trade wars, tensions, political instability, and deteriorating climatic changes with all their consequences. As professional accountants, we must ceaselessly support government and business leaders in charting a robust and viable future without neglecting the current needs. As we strive to prosper financially, we must do so through sustainable methods, creating value while ensuring we pay adequate attention to the climate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the focus of the ICAN's 52nd Annual Accountants Conference, the theme of which is Nigeria Adopting Sustainability for Economic Prosperity. I invite you all to join us as we learn and relearn from indigenous and international resource persons between October 10 and 14, 2022 at the Abuja International Conference Center. It surely promises to be a truly transformative experience. See you in Abuja in October. Thanks and God bless.
Good evening, professional colleagues. Good evening, friends of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, our students, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure once again to welcome you to another session of ICAN on Air, powered by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, an institute that prides itself with integrity and accuracy. And it's my pleasure on this day, Thursday, the 8th day of the month of September, to welcome you to a great educative and insightful session. Last week, Tuesday, we started with a topic some people will consider where are we coming from. And that was opportunity for accountants in the emergence of the Nigerian sport economy. And you people are like, what do you compare accountant, sport? But our guest was able to do justice, open our eyes to in-depth of things that we are not aware of. And today we will be having the concluding path for us to tap into some of those deep things that we are missing as accountant in the sports economy. And it is my pleasure to be guesting today Mr. Nelson Ine, the Executive Director of GTI Asset and Management Limited. In a very short while, he will be joining me. But I want you to open your heart, open your mind, take out your pen and your book to note some of the areas. Last Tuesday was very educative, eye-opener for us, and that's why we feel we should have more justice today. I will be going on a very short break, and when I come back, I will be coming in with my guest for today. Please let me pay some commercials, and I'll be right back. Stay tuned and don't
Save
worry.
the date. Make it in October to remember as you register and plan to attend the 52nd ICAN Annual Accountants Conference. Date 10th to 14th October 2022. Venue ICC Abuja and Sheraton Abuja. For more inquiries, call 070-501-80222 or 090-625-47263. You can also visit the ICAN website www.icanig.org to register. Thank you.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Like I mentioned while I did my intro, that I have with me today Mr. Nelson Ine to do justice and have the concluding show on our topic opportunity for accountant in the emergence of Nigerian sports economy. Mr. Ine, good evening and welcome once again.
Good evening, Sheson, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to be here today again to probably have these interesting discussions with you on the topic.
Thank you very much. Last week, you opened our eyes to diverse things regarding this issue of Nigerian sports economy, looking at opportunity that abounds for we professional accountant. You discussed about sport economy, sport economics, enlighten our knowledge in the area of the health and the sporting activity, about the indigenous sport games. You went further to talk about the initiative of GTI, that is the TNFF, that's the Nigerian Football Fund, for every one of us to tap into. We have some of our viewers who possibly missed that show on Tuesday, but in a few minutes, can you just give a recap of our discussion on Tuesday?
Okay, well, we actually discussed sports economy, the role of these sports economists, and also we spoke about the health benefits of engaging in physical activities. We also spoke about the opportunities for the accountants in the emerging sports economy. as well as the GTI initiative of the Nigerian Football Fund, a project we expect to transform our sports ecosystem. We briefly spoke about the benefits. I mean, the salaries of the professional sports athletes in developed countries, the kind of amount of money they earn, and also the value they create in the economy in terms of their contributions to GDP. I think we spoke about those are some of the things we spoke about in the first part of this discourse.
That, yeah, that's very wonderful. I know you mentioned areas where we can tap into TV right, sponsorship, merchandising, gate taking, endorsement. I'm talking about developing facility and focusing on the gray area. It was a very wonderful show. And let me start on this note today. We're talking about football fun, football. Let me take this personal with you. Which club do you even support in the Europe?
I hope I won't disappoint you. I don't support. I'm not emotionally attached to any club in Europe, but I
Ah,
enjoy good football. But I enjoy good football from Europe, but I'm not emotionally attached to any club there.
so you do not get yourself attached to any of the European League, the Bundesliga, the Italia, Serie A, the likes of Man U, Arsenal. Why? Why? So you enjoy good football, but just give us
Yes.
a little background of what that meant to us.
Okay, this is personal, dude. What I see is sports business. I don't
Okay.
get emotionally attached to it because beyond what you see on the field taking place, there's a huge sports component behind. So for
Hmm.
me, I'm devoid of the emotions of getting any emotional attachment to any club. So what I see is the business component of what they are doing. That's really what I'm concerned about. Now, if I'm even going to be emotionally attached to any club, I don't want to be emotionally attached to any European club. I used to
Hmm.
be emotionally attached to Bender Insurance, New Nigerian Bank, and Rangers in those days, and once in a while, stationary stores. Well, those kind of those level of activity is not currently available, which we expect to bring back. So probably by the time the Nigerian league takes its rightful place of pride, I can then be emotionally attached to maybe one of the clubs. But what I do now is I watch European football and just enjoy good football, but no emotional attachment to any club.
That's deep. You see the business side of it, and just watch for the fun of it. And that would, let me kickstart the question this way by saying that we all know that the EPL just broke the record in the recent close of transfer windows, and the amount involved is in excess of 2.2 billion pounds, with the overall market value of the EPL now about 9.27 billion pounds. There are obvious table shaking value that we no doubt contribute in no small measure to the economy of United Kingdom. On the contrary, on the contrary, the news around our Nigerian Football League is there are maybe one or two reasons why the league may not hold. Let me ask, does TNFF have the potential to take the Nigerian Football League to somewhere similar? If yes, how?
Yes, the TNFF has that objective to take the Nigerian Football League to actually to develop it to that same level of what is obtainable in other developed leagues in the world, in Europe and America. And with the TNFF, we strongly believe in some few years' time, let's say in less than another 5 years' time, the Nigerian Premier League is going to compete effectively with the EPL in terms of quality of production. You
Hmm,
see, everything about football is about packaging.
hmm,
What you see in the EPL today is just beyond the football on the field. It's the business component that drives the whole thing in terms of branding, in terms of the quality of the production and everything. So that's what drives it, and that's what gets people attracted. you find out there's both on the field and off the field activity that is fueling the attraction to the EPL. And we believe we have the capacity to deliver same in some few years from now. Like I said, in terms of the talent, we don't have problems with the talent base to make our league more vibrant, but we are just looking at some few things we need to do, and we are convinced that once we are able to take care of those shortcomings, our league is definitely going to measure up. And my conviction is based from what we have experienced with music. If you look at the music industry in the 80s, in the 70s, 80s, and even up to the 90s, it was all about American music in this industry. But today, the story has changed. And what changed the story is about the packaging, the production, the quality. In terms of the talent, we don't lack talent. We have more than enough talent to deliver those quality. But those talent needs to be properly managed, and the product needs to be delivered the way it is expected to be delivered. And that is why today, it is the Nigerian music industry that is dominating everywhere. And the only advantage we are just having is because we have a very youthful, talented population in this country. So we'll be getting more. When you think you've had the best of one of the musicians, you see new crop of musicians coming up and even increasing taking the bar higher than even what we have experienced before. And I'm sure that trend is going to continue in the music industry. And they've made it quite a lot of money. I mean, they brought a lot of honors, prestige to the country. And if we are not looking at it from the economic impact from the music industry, you agree with me that in terms of remittances from foreign exchange, they've done quite well in that area. But you see, a lot of people are not paying attention to that, but the music industry. So we also believe the sports industry, football in particular, is going to get to that same level of performance and deliver a lot of quality and value to all stakeholders and contribute significantly to the gross domestic product. Hello? Okay, so that is what we expect. So we are definitely going to take the Nigerian league to that level, and we are going to be looking at the various, like I said, the various things we need to focus on, and we're definitely going to focus on that and develop our own local league. Ensure that a lot of us today that are listening to this program, I strongly believe in some few years to come, many of us are going to be emotionally attached to the 3SC of this world, the canopilas of this world, the Enyimba of this world, and the Bender Insurance, the Rangers, and the Rivers United. So all those local clubs are going to get because we are going to try to do the needful to bring them to the glare of Nigerians to see. And not only Nigeria, beyond Nigeria too. And I'm sure a lot of people, once we are able to put our acts together, I'm sure it will get a lot of attraction even from the international community, just like what we're experiencing with the music industry today.
That is a very wonderful submission. And I can tell you for free, when you said that in no distance time, let's give it like 5-7 years, we'll have the opportunity to compete with EPL. And with that submission of saying beyond the football, there is on the field and off the field. Talked about the business side, the packaging. I know a lot of betting go into it, and also. And can you, with the submission that you've given, we can see that it's deep, and we are nexting into it. Can you share more with us, for our viewers, some opportunities that professional accountants can offer to tap from this opening that we're saying?
Yes, in fact, the professional accountants have a very great role to play in this whole arrangement we'll be proposing and working on. You see, one of the biggest problems today is transparency and accountability, like I've mentioned. And the records, we need the records. Today, if you go on the net, you could get information on the EPL and even other leagues. But if you search for records for our own local sporting activities, you may not get adequate records. Today, you could go on the net and you can see the financials of the FIFA World Cup. You can see the financials of the Olympics. The Olympics ended, they did the Olympics last year. But again, they also, the financials are going to be available, just like the World Cup too, and even some of the other big leagues in the world. So, and all those functions are meant for the accountant. So we believe that over time, the accountants should be fully engaged, even in the clubs, in the various clubs, they are accounting, the accounting requirements in those clubs in terms of ensuring that their audited accounts are available, not only for the clubs, even the federations and other areas too. So the accountants have a very great role to play, not only in the area of just providing figures, but also putting a lot of internal control measures in place to ensure that there's proper utilization of funds in the organization, and they are also reported the way they are supposed to be reported as per regulatory requirements. So some of those gaps are there in our sports sector now. So, and we strongly believe the coming on board of the significant roles the accountants are going to play in this whole ecosystem will further reinforce the confidence in the system. People can look at the figures, can do their own analysis, and based on that, they can make their projections and expectations of the kind of value they should be getting from the sports ecosystem.
That's
So,
brilliant. That's brilliant. And I must
so
say, that's what we are known for in the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. We are trained to provide, the integrity as per records, and accuracy plays a major role. Let me go ahead with this question, Mr. Ene. I want to divert a bit and get to sport earning accountability. We've heard of great sportsmen and women who had won, blown and made lot of riches, but ended up or they died very poor. What happened to their sport earning accountability? Did they ignore the council or service or professional accountants in their days of fame, or what do you feel happened?
yes, it's quite a sad experience to see many of these athletes earn so much money during their active playing days, and upon retirement, after some few years, they go bankrupt and probably retire into penury. But I think that is changing in recent times now. It's changing because now you see one thing we must realize is that these athletes are just talented to deliver on the field.
Hmm.
They actually need help in other areas. And you cannot give what you don't have in life.
Hmm.
The knowledge you do not have, you cannot give. So while they need the doctors that will take care of their physical well-being, they need their coaches, they also need their financial advisors to advise them appropriately. Not only the accountants, even the investment advisors too,
Hmm.
and to manage them in such a way that over the years, during their active days, they can have a lot of investments. They can know how to manage their finances in such a way that not all they earn they consume. And sometimes, because of lack of advice, they go into wrong investments.
Hmm.
And that is where they also need a lot of the experts. So if you find out, even in the developed world, many of those athletes earn so much money. And you can imagine the age. You can imagine a 20, 21-year-old young athlete earning as much as £250,000 per week. Let's be honest with ourselves, even for adults. Even for adults, I'm not talking of even a young man that has not even experienced life. Even for adults, if not properly checked, can go off board
Yeah.
in terms of misbehavior, financial misbehavior, and even getting into other kinds of frivolous expenditure, because he will always believe the money will keep coming, forgetting that one day those activities will be over, and that athlete needs to save for the raining day. So two things. One, in terms of mismanagement of their funds. Another area is wrong decisions when they make investments. And the idea that they must also know how to apportion their finances in such a way that at the end of their career, they have something reliable and sustainable, not just reliable, reliable and sustainable to live on. Because you see, for the sports athletes, actively they can be more active for more than maximum between 10 to 15 years, max
Yeah.
17, 18 years. So meaning they start their career at the age of 20, some the ones that start early start 18, and you discover that by 35, 36, they have to retire because what is expected, the kind of fiscal demand the
Demand.
sports requires, once they get to that age of 35, 36, diminishing return sets in. They cannot cope with the pressures of the sport. So they will definitely retire. Now you can imagine them retiring actively from sports at the age of 35, 36, and they have to live, maybe God prolonging their life, they need to live up to 70, 75 years. Meaning they are going to live the other parts of their life not actively involved in that sport, the way they understand. Again, apart from just funds management, there's also the career prospects beyond the active days on the field or on the court. So you discover that these athletes actually need a lot of help from professionals, from diverse discipline, talking of accountants, talking about investment bankers, talking about estate managers, and so many professionals in it. Because the kind of money they earn, if they don't get those people to manage them and advise them properly, just like you said, they finish their playing days earning so much money and ending up in penury.
And that is why, as professionals, we must strategically position ourselves to see how we can offer assistance, just like you said, to some
Yes,
of those people, and make our own income even from it. Because when they
exactly, because
prosper,
you definitely as professional fees.
yeah, of course, of course. Let me now come to that has to do with individuals. Let me come to the body itself. We've heard about financial scandals in both local and international sporting activity. I sense great opportunity for professional accountants here. Do you share this sentiment? How can we definitely plug in? We've seen instances at UEFA, at the world level, even at our local level here. Do you share the sentiment that there is great sense of activities for professional accountants to partake in this?
Yes, yes, I strongly believe that. And even the institute can start looking in that direction,
Mhm.
providing proper internal control guidelines for a lot of these sports federations and organizations in terms of their reporting of financials. And again, we're also looking at putting proper corporate governance structures in place to ensure proper accountability and transparency. It is only through those proper internal control guidelines that some of these things can be checked. But where you don't have such in place, then this kind of crisis we are talking about will definitely occur. And if you look at even the other organizations, even in the banking sector, in capital market and other financial institutions, you can see a lot of regulations in place in terms of financial controls for their various activities. But if you look at the sports sector today, you don't have that kind of arrangement there. So because of that, you see a lot of these problems. It's not as if you have all those things in place, these problems may not occur, but it will be grossly minimized. So it is an area we need to focus on. And like I'll make a proposal to the institute. The institute needs to also um, interface with the sports ministry and the sports sector to see how they can propose some guidelines, internal control guidelines and reporting uh, guidelines to ensure that some of those problems are curtailed in that sector.
That's a very great one. And I think on Tuesday, one of our viewers was saying, can we start having sport accounting? We have for insurance, we have for stockbroking accounting, we have for banking. Yeah, and it's like, can we have sport accounting where we can study, groom our students, and let our professional that will play core skills in some of these sectors, considering the opportunity that abounds there. Let me take you to this area because I know It's about sporting activities. And I would like to talk about sports betting and taxes. Looking at the Nigerian Lottery Act of 2005, 2017, the Lagos State Gaming Lottery Law, what economic, all these put together, what are the economic impact for our nation?
The economic impact is much. Because if you look at even studies have also revealed that in the area of sports betting, Nigerians spend an average of about 2 billion daily on sports betting, which comes to about 730 million in a year for sports betting. Now, if you look at the economic activity surrounding those betting, you find that is huge. And again, from all these monies, the government they make money from licensing those sports betting organizations. They also make monies on their monthly sales tax. They pay to the tax authorities, and from part of those monies, profit made from surplus made from those monies, they also extend to developing other sectors of the economy. So the value chain of that industry is quite huge, and it will keep growing. You see, these are industries that grows as far as the population is growing, as far as there's high demand for consumption of sports activities in terms of goods and services. That industry will keep growing, and it will be growing because people are emotionally attached to sports. It's just like religion. People are emotionally attached to religion. The way they are emotionally attached to religion, that's the way they're emotionally attached to sports. Those are the two activities that command large crowd in any environment compared to other activities. It is only a FIFA World Cup finals that you have billions of eyeballs watching. It is only a religious gathering. You see thousands of people at the venue and a lot also participating through television or online. So that is one thing about sports. So that industry, we keep growing, and we keep you can see the number of agents they've employed to work in that industry. In fact, that industry has created a lot of jobs for people, and also improve and made its own fair share of contribution to the gross domestic product in terms of services being rendered.
That's wonderful, and I think I will allude to it that sporting is a unifying factor. When you are playing football, you don't know your enemy. You sit by the side of one another, and you start
Yes,
possibly drinking or even dining together. Not until after the match.
yes,
That's the only thing that takes everyone off the road on the Lagos road when there is a match between Nigeria and another country. The road will be empty and you can drive freely. It's to tell you how sports
exactly.
unifies people and individual. On this note, let me also share with our listeners, our viewers, that you're free to pose your questions to us. Our guest for today is available, and we can see the topic looks like what exactly can we tap from it, but there is huge opportunity, going to the extent that just the same way we have insurance accounting, we have stock broking and other specialized accounting, we can create one even for sports. People can specialize and resuscitate. I wish we can tap from the 250,000 pounds weekly earned by people, and you prefer, professional services to it. I'm sure you'll be costed up. And like you said, I won't want it in pounds. By the time TNFF, build up what is expected, I'm sure a lot of people will be costing up, providing professional service for these people. So please throw in your questions, your comment, your observation, so that we can do justice to this. Let me ask this question based on your experience and deep knowledge of sports industry and general economic contribution. Are there special skills set that professional accountants require to be involved in sports administration and management?
Yes, it's just like any other profession. The professional accountants have the basic knowledge of the basic principles and applications of accounting and all the guidelines that are required. But in the area of sports now, they need to understand the way the sports business works, to know how to apply the knowledge they have in their practice. It's just like the legal profession and sports. The legal people need to understand sports, how it works, for them to also know how to deploy their knowledge. So understanding sports the way it works will help a lot. And one can, there are certain short courses that can be taken on sports administration, sports management, just similar to something I also did. I also had to get some training on sports management to actually understand how the sports industry works very well, you know. And what we are trying to do is that, based on the knowledge in investment banking, capital market, understanding the sports environment, then we can also understand how to play in that area. Similarly, for the accountants, they also need some basic understanding of the industry. But if you look at it generally, the organizational structure of any sports business, in terms of the way it is, and the various financial requirements in terms of reporting and in terms of record keeping and reporting, may not too differ, but it's just understanding how that industry works and how that knowledge can be deployed efficiently to bring value to that industry. So just some basic knowledge of how the sports business works will also help in you providing better professional advice in accounting.
Okay, that's a very wonderful submission. Just few administrative skill and courses, as we are trained in accounting to always research and improve our skills on daily basis. I have legacy tutor asking this question: that what role is the Youth and Sport Ministry expected to play in the TNFF initiative?
Well, we are in touch with them. You know, they are the supervising ministry for sports development in the country, so we cannot operate in isolation. So we are in contact with them, and so far so good. The relationship we've had with them has been very, very encouraging and cordial.
Okay, that's nice. I want to go on a very short commercial break, and when we come back, we will be doing justice to a few questions, and we'll round up for today. Let me state once again to say that I've been on the show with our guest who has been doing justice to our topic for today, in person of Mr. Nelson ICAN-ngr, who is the Executive Director, GTI Asset and Management Limited, the coordinator of the TNFF, that is the Nigeria Football Fund. Let me quickly pay some commercials. When we come back, we'll come and do justice to more questions. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Save the date. Make it in October to remember as you register and plan to attend the 52nd ICAN Annual Accountants Conference. Date 10th to 14th October 2022. Venue ICC Abuja and Sheraton Abuja. For more inquiries, call 070-501-80222 or 090-625-47263. You can also visit the ICAN website www.icanig.org to register. Thank you.
Welcome back, our viewers, and it is my pleasure to just make you known that there's a platform for you to exhibit your products and services, just like we've been having on our session every Tuesday and Thursday. This program is globally viewed, so your product is not just going to be a local one, but definitely being promoted to the international space. So we encourage you to, make use of the advert space and book your advert. We have a lot running for us, and I know together we can make it happen. Welcome back, Mr. Ene, for this wonderful discussion we've been having on the issue of opportunity for accountant in the emergence of Nigerian sports economy. I want to start on this note as we wind up. For benefit of those that were not available with us on Tuesday, to expatiate and talk extensively on this TNFF that we is being powered by the GTI Capital Limited, and also share for our viewers, like you've been saying, the opportunity they are about.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Sheson. The TNFF initiative, which is the Nigerian Football Fund, it's a project, a sports project to transform the Nigerian sports ecosystem. So what we've actually created a very unique model product that can allow all Nigerians, both individuals and corporate institutions, to invest in our sports sector. Now, a lot of people will be wondering that, okay, if we invest, how do we get returns on our investment? The sports sector has a lot of potentials to grow in terms of revenue. And what we'll be doing is investing these funds from subscribers into the sports business component of the sports sector that can generate revenue. And our studies has revealed that in other countries, the sports property grows over time. And in fact, grows geometrically in value over time, like I said, like the estate property. So what we've done is, okay, since we have the problem of funding in our sports ecosystem, let's create a platform, a project, or a fund where all Nigerians can have the opportunity to invest and also benefit from the growth in that sector in terms of returns on investment. And that is what we are trying to achieve with the TNFF. So what I'm saying in effect is that the fund has been launched. It's an open-ended fund. So even everyone on this platform has the opportunity to invest in the fund, and based on the various sports projects we are going to be investing in. And as far as the value of those projects are growing, people can get returns on their investment because the fund is duly approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission. It's a mutual fund. But for us, the fund is just an enabler. We are looking at the project. The Nigerian Football Fund project is even beyond football. So funds generated is going to be extended to other sports that can also generate adequate revenue as returns. If you look at sports today, the EPL today, you have shown out some figures. The EPL today is a business entity. What we see is just football. Beyond football is huge business behind the EPL. And that is what this fund is trying to see how to grow value for investors. It's also a way of diversifying investment to other areas that can generate a lot of revenue and returns on investment. If you want to invest, you can actually invest by accessing the website, the Nigerian Football Fund website, www.tnff.gti.com.ng. Once you access that website, you fill the form and you can subscribe online, you pay online. So by 100,000 naira minimum, in multiples of 100,000. And we also expect a lot of institutional investors to also invest in the fund. The Nigerian sports ecosystem now still has a lot of potentials to grow. What we see in other developed countries, we can also replicate here, and that is essence of having this fund. And we are convinced, like I said, we have done our studies, we have seen the good potentials in other countries, and we know that for anyone investing in this fund today, is definitely going to have every cause to rejoice over that investment. So I also encourage everyone listening to me to access that website and invest, or you can reach us on our telephone number 090-8299-9291 or 070 call TNFF. You can reach us, but once you Google the Nigerian Football Fund, it takes you to the site and you can get all the information you want to get from that site. And we strongly believe with the TNFF is going to bring a new dawn to the Nigerian sports sector in terms of development. And that is why I can convincingly tell you that in some few years' time from now, the Nigerian Premier League is going to effectively compete with the EPL. We are convinced about that. It has happened in other climes, and we know we can also achieve it here. And I know for sure whatever project Nigerians are determined to apply themselves to, definitely will always get results, especially from private sector initiative. Sports business all over the world is driven by the private sector. And that is why the initiative of TNFF is coming to drive, to propel that transformation in our sports sector. So apart from football, like I said, apart from football, we are also going to be looking at other sports, basketball, athletics, wrestling, boxing, sports that have commercial viability. We are also going to be looking at them. And we are going to be looking at all aspects of sports that can generate revenue. You have talked about the sports betting. The sports betting is also an option. So many options we are going to be looking at to generate a lot of revenue. And like I said, we are strongly convinced that over time, I encourage a lot of people to invest in this fund, and they will not have any cause to regret, but be very happy about the investment they've done.
Wonderful.
The fund is there. It's regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So we've put a lot of corporate governance structure in place to ensure the safety of the funds and the growth of the funds over time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Enel, for that in-depth of what TNFF is all about. As we custom, let me just take up this question. Just thinking outside the box, can we have a collection of Nigerian sports individuals that have made so much fortune in their career, put resources together to fund sports like this, the sport development? We've seen it in time past, and we've seen some certain failure. Can I ask, how will TNFF be different from the previous ones that we've experienced? Several people have put this kind of package together. What difference is TNFF offering from GTI?
TNFF is definitely going to be different from the previous ones you have seen. The previous ones you have seen, the way they have been packaged, we've looked at many of those projects in the past, and we've also identified some of the weaknesses of those projects. And what we've done with TNFF is to develop it in such a way, design it in such a way that, one, there are a lot of corporate governance structures in place to ensure the safety of the funds, so that the funds is not mismanaged. The safety of the funds is key to us and also to investors and also the Securities and Exchange Commission. The deployment of the funds too, there are proper structures to ensure proper deployment of the funds, and the transparency and the accountability that is also going to be put in place in terms of the management of the funds. We have a custodian bank that is going to keep custody of all the funds that we from subscribers and that we raise from the fund. So the structure we have put in place and the way the funds are going to be deployed is some of the positives for this fund. And also, like I said, our focus is on the revenue, the business component of the sports sector, those components that can generate adequate revenue, those components that we know that once they are properly activated, they have the capacity to generate a lot of revenues. And you only generate revenues when you have a lot of followership. And just like the sports betting industry we are talking about today, once we create the attraction, which we are definitely creating with the TNFF, definitely in terms of achieving the set objectives of the fund, we are not in any doubt that it will crash like any other fund. No, there's no room for that because of the way the whole fund, the structure is designed. And I can assure you, we've done a lot of work on this fund. For several years, we've been working on this project. And I can tell you, we've looked at this project thoroughly and it's been well designed. I can tell you for a fact, there's no product or project like the Nigerian Football Fund developed elsewhere in the world. None. The way we have structured the project. And we've done it in such a way to take care of our own local peculiarities to ensure that we deliver results on the project.
Very wonderful submission, and I know that our viewers globally are actually, tapping from that which you say, and the investment opportunity that arises with it, and the opportunity also for the accountant. Mr. Ine, it's been a very wonderful time. So as we draw the curtain of the show today, on this discussion that is unexplored sector of the Nigerian economy. What would be your counsel or your suggestion to our institute, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, as it relates to collaboration and advisory on the economy, most especially the sporting arm?
Thank you very much, Mr. Sheson. Well, my advice would be, you see, the institute should look at the sports sector critically and also look at the weaknesses in the sector, because there have been a lot of problem of transparency and accountability in that sector. And that's an open space for the institute to collaborate with the sports ministry in terms of ensuring there is proper internal control measures and reporting standards in the sports sector. Now, for the impact of sports to the economy, I mentioned the last time that the sports sector is the green oil Nigeria has not tapped very well. We have a very youthful population of estimated to be 140 million, and this youthful population is something that with the sports sector properly activated, it can create a lot of value for the society and also contribute significantly to the gross domestic product. And I strongly believe with the initiative of the TNFF, with also the collaboration of all other professionals, the sports sector works with all professionals from different areas, because sports touches every aspect of human endeavor. So there's a great room there for improvement. So I encourage the Institute to probably organize a seminar for the impact of the relevance of the relevance of accountants to the development of the sports sector. You could organize a seminar and invite different professionals in the sports sector to deliver a paper. And I'm sure, and also for the accountants to also do some research in that area, I'm sure at the end of the day, we'll be able to come out with a position paper that will impact positively on the development of our sports sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What a very brilliant way to end the show today, talking about our institute, looking at the weaknesses and be able to penetrate in bringing more transparency and accuracy into the scheme of things introduce so much internal control so that people can have much confidence in our sporting activities in the country. Let me state here that we are really, really grateful to our guest for today, Mr. Nelson Inne, for making our time on Tuesday and today to enlighten us and show more of opportunity that abounds for accountant as a professional body. And on this note, quite pathetic that we are ending on a very sad note. We had a breaking news as I received from the back end that Queen Elizabeth of the United Kingdom just passed on at age 96. We commiserate with the United Kingdom on the passing away of Queen. And we know that God will grant them the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss as we forge ahead. And let me quickly share a few announcements with us that the World Congress will be holding from November 18 to 21st at the Geo Convention Center at India. And the topic of discussion is sustainability, which building trust, enabling sustainability. We encourage you to partake on it. We can visit our website and you see the flyers there to partake in this. Also, like you saw at the beginning of the program, the promo and the speech by the 58th president of our great institute inviting us to the 52nd Annual Accountant Conference, scheduled to hold from 10th to 14th October 2022 at the International Conference Center and Sheraton Hotels tours in Abuja. The topic of discussion is Nigeria adopting sustainability for economic prosperity. We had a lot that has been put together. We have less than like 30 days to go, and people have been registering. It's a time for you to network. It's a time for you to come and enrich your knowledge base with some of the interesting topic, and above all, a time to relax, because there will definitely be a session to socialize at the gala night. On this note, I'll be drawing the curtain today, Thursday, the 8th day of the month of September, and I remain your host. To see you again on Tuesday, Olusesan Okunade. See you again on Tuesday. Stay safe and always remain a professional that we are all known to be. Bye for now.